There we go. How lovely. Yay. Hi. I will relax into this moment and center myself. I'll give you the recipe for this witch's brew very soon. It's so delicious. And center myself very specifically with this beautiful smoky quartz. It's so special. And I will use this on our tarot deck because that's the main vein for our Beltane today. And happy Beltane, sweethearts. How's it going? I'm going to check in and see if there's some decent sound. And I'll write a quick little note. One of these days, I'm going to learn how to pin my comment. There we go. So, sweetie pies, how's that sounding? Hi, Liddy, how are you doing? Hi, Bert. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Hi, Jessica. How are you? Hi, Ever. It's so good to see you. Oh, Ever, I love the magical works that you're creating right now. Your art spells are just touching me so, so deeply. My loves, we will jump in toot sweet. And I have a quick little message for my sweetie Boone, who has been so kind to help me. And Bert is helping nicely too, with a little candle holder to rise these up. We don't have to have them. It's just one of those happy things that I love. And we're using baby's breath in our spell today. I'm really excited to be celebrating Beltane with all of you, especially in this way where so many of us are, privileged and tortured to be resting at home where we've been for quite a while. So hopefully the sweetness of how that torture has exfoliated you has you resting really deeply in the beauty and power of witchcraft at this happy, gorgeous fire day of Beltane. Sweeties, we begin like we always begin, and we'll do this with delicious ASMR by striking a match. Sounds so good. And lighting a candle for the collective to alert our spirit guides that we're here, we're open, we're listening, and we're ready to receive the messages that are meant for us. That was interesting. We're lit with a little baby flame that put out the match itself. Beautiful. And next, you sweethearts that join me live and are subscribing to my channel upon this fecund field, this wild, feral field. Thank you for subscribing. I am here to please you. This candle burns for you for the rest of Beltane. I'm sending you all my love and magic. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you would like a special magic spell and blessing, every video I make for my subscribers, really super specifically that I get very deeply into. I might take a little bit of heat around the house for that. Just go ahead and hit the subscribe button and you'll be part of that. We have a dressed and blessed candle service every video that I make. So I'm going to just give a quick little message. Do we feel like we need these higher? I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'll just go with the flow in this way today because I've got everything ready to sink in. How are you all doing with your Beltane today? Are you feeling that nectar flowing, that juiciness, that body expansion of Beltane? I sure am. Oh my goodness, I've been through so much in these last days, and I just feel so excited to bring it all back to our worldwide coven. It's so magic to have you here. We will check on our little seedlings out there today too. I can see them just past my sight line in my back garden. And we planted those last week, live stream, and oh my goodness, they just popped up right away. I have no idea what they are. They were gifted to me by the spectacular Madre Jaguar, who I have even more sort of weaving and growing with right now, because we will both be presenters, creating teaching workshop space at the Modern Witches Confluence coming up on Halloween. So what a spectacular honor to be growing seeds that Madre Jaguar gifted me here in the name of love, in the name of our coven. So, so special. So magic is real, sweeties. How's it all going, and where in the wild world are you, honeys? I want to take a quick peek and say hello. How's that going? Can you see well? Is everything going well, sweeties? Good, I'm glad. Oh, you have so much gorgeous magic today. We'll be creating our moon tarot inside of my new EMPREXX 2-card spread, which is an X that brings forward my magic for this year of wild and free. The first card is wild and the second card is free. And we'll do this in a fiery lightning round for each zodiac sign with our moon tarot today. I'm really, really excited about that. Have you checked in over on Instagram and seen my good morning this morning? I am absolutely under the spell and wildly in love with a new piano composer named Michael Antic. I can't say his last name without looking at it, but it's on my, I'll link it in the description for this. He's got a beautiful Spotify account, and I'm going to take a quick little peek right now because they're just sweeping me away with their beauty. And so I used their song called Flitting Around the Room today. And I'm just going to call this up so you can see. His name is Michael Anticoli, and he's on fabulous Jeff Hinshaw Cosmic Cousins podcast today, as well as Claire Burgess, who is the Word Witch, talking about their new amazing tarot deck, which literally their Kickstarter just burst forth today, or not today, but this week, and it was funded in like 53 hours. Claire, I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled to witness this before our eyes. Your joy is palpable. And the fact that your sweetheart created and collected video of the moment you were funded, popping a cork, and bubbles and cheers were flowing is a Beltane blessing for me. So I love the video that he captured of your joy, and I'm going to find a way to link all of that in this video as well, sweetheart. Another special Kickstarter is going down today, and that is from Shop the Eighth House. My precious friend Sarah has created a deck called Stories, a collaborative oracle deck. They have created the Prism Tarot and the Eighth House Tarot deck. My kids have the Prism Tarot, which is amazing. It's specifically made to not have a guidebook. There's keywords that are fabulous. It's an incredible learner's deck. And now they've gone into creating their very first oracle deck, and they invited 50 collaborators to speak through 50 constellations in our beautiful night sky. And I embody the story of Orion, and I posted that on my Instagram stories today. It was a real spectacular honor. And as we've already spoken of Claire's beautiful bubbles and tears when they funded for their beautiful Word Witch, I think theirs is called the Fifth House Tarot. I too share that as I created that story for the Stories Collaborative Oracle deck. I wept the entire time. It is a huge love letter, and I'm tenderly honored to be published for the second time ever. The first time was in Sarah Faith Goddess Diener's Many Moons Lunar Planner 2020. So everything's happening in real time before our eyes, sweethearts, and I'm really just thrilled to be sharing all these things with you and receiving so much love and support too. So thank you so much, honeys. So where are you at, my loves? We're going to do everything inside out today. So I'm going to begin at the bottom and roll my way up, not to freak out the people that like to go last, because maybe your last name starts with a Z when you have to do your oral report at school. I suddenly am that teacher that flipped it around and I'm beginning at the end. So I'm going to take a peek and see where everybody is today. Hi, Nikki. Oh, good to see you, honey. Hi, Tasha. Oh, Beltane blessings to you too, honey. Hi, Empress ASMR. Does everybody get their just delicious ASMR whispered true crime fix at Empress ASMR? They have a beautiful channel. I'll link it in the description of this video today as well. Okay, honeys? Hi, Nancy. It's good to see you. You're in San Diego. Yay. Oh, Beltane blessings from Jordan and Carson, and they're up in PDX. Hi, Celeblin. It's good to see you. Hi, Bethany. You're here from Alaska, right, sweetheart? Hi, Ever. Ever, are you in East Los? I feel like you're in LA, right, honey? Oh, I'm just loving you all the time, Ever. It's so much fun. Leluce King, hi. Hi, Adina. It's good to see you. Oh, I'm so happy to be together on Beltane. Jessica, I'm so glad you're here, and it sounds like you're doing well. MJ, hello, sweethearts. MJ has a message for us. Hello, my love. So happy to be here. You're hurting so much. People around you are not respecting shelter-in-place orders, and you're high risk. Your anxiety is through the roof. Oh, I could literally burst into tears at hearing your words. I have so much incredible sensitivity, and I'm very triggered today. I shut the house in as best I could, but since dawn this morning, we have Coast Guard helicopters. We're about a mile from the ocean's edge, the actual water. And we have our governor in California has just wisely asked folks to shut the beaches, and the Coast Guard is actually patrolling. Coast Guard is not the military, they're Homeland Security. That's a very different kind of way of being a federal agent. And they have very, very intense, sturdy, loud helicopters that can actually shelter in the air for hours and hours and hours. And it's been since dawn. It's very triggering. So what I've decided to do, MJ, is I'm taking the sounds that trigger me and I'm listening to flames through that. You know, when we hear fire, sometimes we hear whomp, 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 whomp. I'm listening to the beating of those helicopter propellers with the whomp, 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 and I'm hearing the depth of the fire, the deep, deep logs. And that's keeping me going. I'm transforming it through filters that keep my inner child feeling safe. I know how you feel, sweetie. Aw, hi. Oh, ever. I had one of the best love affairs in my life in Koreatown. That's a Beltane moment and a half, isn't it? I love K-Town. Okay, sweetie. Yes, Bethany's in Alaska. Yeah, sweetie. Let's surround MJ with all our love and magic, and everyone who's activated that doesn't have the privilege of being seen in this chat. My soul goes out to you. By the end of the week, we end up having about 500 souls view our service here today. I do know that the complexity of being able to be here live is really delicate, and so I'm holding a lot of space for folks that have to view this privately. I really truly understand. Okay, sweeties. Aww. I want to just say your name is possibly Una Gamin. Hi. It's a really pretty name. Yeah, you're right in the core of LA, aren't you? Okay. Oh, you're welcome, MJ. Oh, Jessica, I want to remind you that we also are with you, body and soul, as you're going through the violent experience of losing your home to a fire. I know that we witches hold space for the transformations that we go through, and that's a really tough one. My soul goes out to you, and all of us are surrounding you as you rebuild your life. I'm so happy you have family support, and yet it still doesn't change that you've had a spectacular deep wound. So my heart goes out to you, honey. Okay, sweethearts. Okay, here we go, my loves. Let's begin with a poem, shall we? Poetry has blessed me in brand new, spectacular ways this week, as I've just gone through the experience of creating an offering for a Coven of 13 that included a poetry reading and workshop with the fabulous poet Anne. I couldn't wait to utter their name here in this space. I will link their YouTube channel, which I dream will bloom and grow with their words. You can witness how they express themselves. Their voice, their gloriousness as they weave their words are something special. So I will link their YouTube channel for all of us here. Okay, so I still have in my community tab that flyer and a link to it that I've just disabled. So after this broadcast, I will link the artwork for my card in the stories deck, which I'm so happy to embody for Sarah's beautiful project. I'm believing so much in the transformations that they're experiencing, and I'm happy to serve their vision. So, darlings, poetry has just moved through my life in brand new ways. Before we begin our Moon Tarot, which will be filtered through the EMPREXX 2-card spread that places an X before you on your altar, I will share my EMPREXX poem that I created at the workshop. Today we will begin with a poem by Anne Sexton. I give you her kind. I've gone out, a possessed witch, haunting the black air, braver at night. Dreaming evil, I've done my hitch over the plain houses, light by light. Lonely thing, 12-fingered, out of mind. A woman like that is not a woman quite. I have been her kind. I've found the warm caves in the woods, filled them with skillets, carvings, shelves, closets, silks, innumerable goods. Fixed the suppers for the worms and the elves. Whining, rearranging, the disaligned. A woman like that is misunderstood. I have been her kind. I have ridden in your cart, driver, waved my nude arms at villages going by, leaned the last bright roots. Survivor, where your flames still bite my thigh, and my ribs crack where your wheels wind and wind. A woman like that is not ashamed to die. I have been her kind. Wow, so much magic just flowed through me as I was reading that poem. What I like to do is throw myself into the wildness by honing our sessions with poetry. And I do my best to read a poem that I don't know. And this day has shocked me because I saw this her kind and Anne Sexton and the word possessed witch, and I said, that's it. I quickly copied and pasted it, sent it to Boone to print out for me. And now I understand someone I love way better because they have an Instagram handle, an account called Lonely 12-Fingered, and I now know where they got it. I will link their beautiful Instagram account here in the description for this video. I'm kind of shocked and moved. I once asked my friend Maritza Rubio, who's the founder of my beloved Makara Center for the Arts, how our mutual friend got their Instagram handle of Lonely 12-Fingered. And she said, oh, it's from a poem. And now the poem has appeared before us completely by Magics. And on a day like today, wow, is that ever ripping through me like fire, like the womp, womp, womp of the deepest burning logs. Oh, magic is real, my loves. Let's all take a sip of our brew, shall we? Look at that fabulous amber kind of honey tone today. I started this brew the other day. This is her third day. Often with my witch's brews, because if you're new here, I'll just tell you, even though our regular coveners know this, I brew my witch's brew in patterns of 3. So I like to brew them and keep them going, nurture them for 3 days. This is the 3rd day with this brew. And I started it with a half a Madagascar vanilla bean. To that, I added 3 coins of peeled fresh ginger, and I call them coins. Please don't put coins in your brew. I'm calling them pennies now because that's our official symbol for our worldwide coven. And with it, I added to that a single allspice, 5 goji berries, 3 threads of saffron. What else did I add to it? I created this for my EMPREXX the other day. This was something that I added for the coveners that came to our workshop. So what I'll do is I'll copy and paste and I'll add this recipe to today's celebration, our Beltane ritual, and you can enjoy that all weekend as well. I put in lemon zest and cayenne pepper as well. It's so good. It's wetting my whistle. I'm going to have to get up in a second and get a whole pot of it because I go through a lot of witch's brew. And I will today because in our celebration, each one of our zodiac signs will receive an EMPREXX blessing. Let's call in the corners, sweet loves. Ah. It's good to see you chatting with one another. I just absolutely love how you treat each other so well. Oh, thank you, Boone. So in the white teapot, if you could just add that. Do you have that, or did Bird already do that in the brown teapot? Great. Bring her on over. That's fabulous. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Darlings, I'll just prep with a little bit of my matches handy. We'll do that in a soul-soothing sound. And always, always thanking Teresa, who sent me 200 of these sweet tea lights to keep us in our candle magic for quite a long time. So thank you, Teresa. We turn ourselves, body and soul, to the north. Earth, the element that sustains our life, that is our body. It's our home. It's our food, our abundance and blessings. It's the earth, the dirt, the soil, and the bones. Guardians of the watchtowers of the north, earth. Be here now. Now we turn body and soul to the direction of east, the element of air, where the poetry finds us and we find the poems. Lonely 12-fingered and all. The music, the words, the songs, the lullabies, the incantations, and all the energy that beams by magic through copper to satellites and down into your hands and your eyes and your ears to consume works of magic such as these of our worldwide coven. Guardians of the watchtowers of the east, air. Be here now. Now we turn body and soul to the south, the element of fire. Fire that alchemizes. Fire that is our passion. Fire that is our sexuality in all of their names and forms. Our wounds in all of their names and forms. The fire in our belly in all of their names and forms. Guardians of the watchtowers of the south, fire. Be here now. Now we turn body and soul to the west, the element of water, that cushion, that expansion, those rivulets, those tears, the chills that rise to the surface in aqueous knowing. Our ancestors that burst from our body in enactments that created the space for the seed to be fertilized and grow in our mothers and rip through body to life. Guardians of the watchtowers of the west, water. Be here now. Now we spiral into the center of our altar, where spirit resides, the core. That is you, and you are them. You are spirit incarnate. You are in this flesh and bone, moving blood, and making your passions take shape in our wild world. Through your spirit, through the mystery, spirit of life. Be here now. Special Beltane air cleansing. As the moon is in Leo today, moving to Virgo tomorrow, which I find delicious and incredible. It's like all of the fires that are burning around the world that binds us to all witches deserve to have their time. Our bond and our liquid love weaves in and out of invisible circles, moving around the world at a totally different rate and pace right now. As I believe truly in my soul, this is the first time we've ever had complete earth unity over a single subject, where we speak of the crown constantly, which is our relationship to our spirit guides and our higher selves. It's like the whole earth is a big antenna in space, very consciously right now, all beaming from our crown with awareness. And we witches are doing this work so consciously. So I'm cleansing of the air the way that your knowing has possibly been challenging for you since the pandemic began. And I'm also creating these works as a love letter to my children, always, in all ways. Well then, did you happen to notice as we called in the 4 directions of our compass rose on our altar and the center for spirit, that each and every direction needed a double tap, needed that X, that double slash? I feel like this is a very big EMPREXX day. Both flames are still going, and literally every single direction needed that boost back, either from being put out by me holding the match too close to the flame or whatever. You can watch it on the replay. I feel like it's all about our double tap right now, because we talk about Beltane. Beltane is a very sexual holiday. And inside of that, that's also asexuality. And that's not a choice. That's a fact for many people. It's both. Fire needs more than just itself to exist. We need more than ourselves to exist as a sovereign creature, as a creature having the expansive, climactic, orgasmic experience of radical pleasure, and the experience of the agency to be in your asexuality. So there's a lot going on with Beltane. We're moving towards it so consciously right now. And so I'm coming from a place of being a sexual creature. And my magic very much is about the expression of your sexuality, very specifically through your sensuality. That's part of my magic. And so we'll talk about that today. So let's remember that we have an official drinking game in our worldwide coven. Every time I pull cups, we drink. So has everybody got something lovely to drink? Good. All right. This gorgeous smoky quartz is just giving me so much life right now. Isn't she just a work of incredible magic and art? Oh my gosh. And Lacey, my girlfriend, High Priestess, told me this is a fishtail crystal, a fishtail smoky quartz. They know so much about crystals. And I utilize this for so many spells. First of all, it was the prima donna at my wedding altar. I was married by a witch in my back garden at a yonder home 2 homes ago, 19 years ago. And we received this by a massage therapist that gave us massages that morning. And they left it with us. I don't even know if it's an accident. I've lost touch with that beauty in my life. And we worship this smoky quartz so consciously. I believe that smoky quartz is an ancestral stone. And Edgar and I utilize this, Edgar Fabian Frias and I utilize this to access our ancestral protection spell, which is still reverberating through both of our magic right now. Edgar is having an incredible, ecstatic, holographic expansion right now. And oh, don't we love holding space for witches to expand in their beauty and their power of their witchcraft. Edgar was on Pam Grossman's Witch Wave podcast this week. Hallelujah. And I just feel so incredibly blessed that we were able to imbue our ancestors and invoke our ancestors through the utilization of this smoky quartz. I know Edgar through so many sources, and Edgar has turned me on to so many sources. And one of them is the divine Leah Garza of Mostly Angels LA. They are so magic. They gave me a little late night texty the other night saying, sometime soon, and don't worry about when, no deadline. Please make me a playlist for Mostly Angels LA. Your only guideline is do it whenever you have time, utilizing a crystal for inspiration. I did some magic and I did a spell and I accessed that this smoky quartz wanted some more time. So I created a Spotify playlist called Smoky Quartz for Mostly Angels. I'm going to link that in this video as well. I love this playlist. It's very Beltane. It's very sexy. It's very passionate too. And it moves through blood and bone. It tells the story of my ancestors and their lovemaking to make me. I'm in my magic right now, and I'm inviting everyone to be in the magic of your ancestors making love to make you. That's the core of our EMPREXX work today. And so the smoky quartz is holding that for all of us. I am very, very, very blessed to be divining right now the right class to teach for Mostly Angels. They've invited me to teach a class through their digital space, and I will promote that here on my YouTube channel when the time comes. I haven't quite figured out what I want to do yet, and so pray for me, because I live to be the body for these works to flow through. To be honest with you, when Anna and Anu approached me and said, let's do something together. Actually, I said to them, let's collab on something soon. And they said, great, let's have a poetry workshop and reading. Boom, it just came right out. I said, awesome, when should we gather? Anna said, tomorrow. And then I said, okay. Last Saturday, we drummed up this idea, and I had no idea if it would have legs, and it sold out very, very quickly. So I'm very open to knowing the kind of class you would like to have from me. Contact me any way that you would like to. Speaking of Anna and Anu's work and we have collected the video from our poetry workshop the other day, and both of us are hugely into consent. So I will be putting it on my YouTube channel if I have the expressed consent from all of the 13 coveners that were present for that spell. So I'll let you know when that goes up on my channel. I'm pretty confident it will go up on our channel. Okay, sweethearts. So love you, smoky quartz. And I love the lovemaking. Can you imagine the lovemaking that went on with my ancestors to make me? Oh, I mean, for one thing, I do happen to know that I'm the one baby that my parents had of all 9 of their babies that they had, that they really begged for and prayed for because they needed that in their marriage at the time. So I'm their one marriage saver baby. I can only imagine the enactment went on there, and I'm just a kid too. I'm 54 years old, and I still think of my parents making love to make me as a little bit gross. But then when I think back further, of some radical Beltane enactment, some wild love affair around a Beltane fire that created the lovemaking that made me generations ago, and I'm about it. I can think about my ancestors generations ago. It's very difficult for me to think about my parents. Oh, life is interesting. We're always babies inside, aren't we? And we celebrate the lovemaking that makes new life on all of the levels that life wants to be lived on Beltane, right? It's not just to make human babies, right? The way that witchcraft used to limit itself. It's to make acts of love. The enactment of making love is a huge spell and plenty big enough to be a baby. So, thank you, Smoky Quartz, for all your divine wisdom. I will place that on the altar. I'd like to show you our gorgeous flaming altar right now, and our chime that cleansed the air and all of our experiences that we're having right now. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? I just love this black wooden tray too. It makes me so, so happy. It's like exactly, I think, suited for my magic, which can be very suburban mom and very, very death witch too. Very much sex witch and blood magic witch. Oh my goodness, the flowing of magic today is so real. I'll drink to that. Okay, darlings. The smoky quartz will go right next to that center of our altar where spirit resides, next to the chime as well. Beautiful. In fact, it's so pretty. I'm going to take a photo of it and I'll put it up on my Instagram stories today. Okay, cute hearts? Here we go. How gorgeous. Beautiful. Lovely. All right, darlings. So I have some happy things that I'd like to share with you today. I don't always have an incantation for our spell work. And today I'm blessed that we do have one. So stick around for the spell, because this is a fabulous, incredible, expansive, beautiful incantation utilized with body and soul permission and consent from some of my favorite witches that just brings so much joy to my heart and tears to my eyes. I'm not a big crybaby witch. I do have a lot of tears in me through the pandemic. The Commons web on Instagram. I love the Commons. They have 2 seasons of their fabulous morning talk show that's for witches by witches. And they've let us utilize the incantation from their season 2 finale today. I just love you so much, the Commons. The works that you create and the witches that you support with your magic is just something so, 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 so special in my life. And Coven, please just have so much fun following them. I will throw all of their information. And today they have actually in their Instagram, a full-on post. They have 2, you swipe and you can see the full incantation being read by the witches of the Commons. It's magic extraordinaire, and we will enjoy that together. A little later, I will print out that incantation in the description of our video. So in the later hours, in your love making, however that looks, if you are asexual, you must make sweet love to yourself. And this incantation is a gorgeous, heavenly sound bath and flesh magic caress to you, for you. So in the sweetness of your time with yourself, please whisper those sweet somethings to yourself of this beautiful incantation. Okay. Moon Tarot EMPREXX for all. Oh, Anne Sexton. Now and then I kiss these poems, and today's the right day for that. Thank you, Boone, so much for printing this out for Mom. You're awesome, buddy. So, here we go. I wonder what Anne Sexton is all about. We'll give this a nice shuffle. I hope no one has any time limits. You know that you're free to get up and use the loo. You're free to go and come back again. This is a unfussy, grand, and beautiful worldwide coven where all are welcome in any way that your body can and wants to function. In any way that you are here is okay. I was in a very strict, fussy coven many moons ago, decades ago. And we needed to use an athame to energetically cut a hole in our circle to go use the loo during the ceremonies. And it was like, I mean, my bladder was also 20 years younger back then, so I could hold it differently. But I got to tell you, like, it was a lot to be able to enjoy how my body wanted to function. So this is an unfussy space. Go and come back whenever you need to. I save these for in and out love, for within and without. I save this as a love letter to my 2 beautiful children. For when I'm long gone and they need me again, these love letters are here for them. And I do this for the collective. So this is no small task, and it's all here for you. I save it with intense intention. Okay, cuties? I feel like my view is a little off today, honeys. I feel like I'm looking in the wrong spot. Boom Boom, can you help me? I have a webcam, and I'm looking in the wrong spot today, aren't I? I see the green. I want to make this technical thing because the EMPREXX is 2 X's to signify my eyes and my breasts facing you. And I do need to peer right in your eyes. See the screen? It shouldn't be on if my web camera's on, sweetheart. How do I make sure that we are utilizing, because I don't see a light on there, and I always see a light on there. Can you try pushing that in a bit more?
It's in.
Okay, cuties, I'm going to shift this, okay? I'm going to shift my attention. What may end up happening is, because I believe in magic so, maybe I'm not supposed to interact with the chat as much today, and simply hold your gaze right here. I know it might not be as pretty a picture as it normally is because I have a higher quality webcam that I normally use, and somehow it didn't pick up today. So you have my machine's webcam, which isn't quite as yummy. If you can think of any way that I can correct that, Big Boon, without disconnecting our ceremony right now, I would love that. I'm just going to take a peek and see if anybody has a wisdom about that. Hi, Jackie. I love you so much. Oh, my brother
Like
Peter's here. I love you
it
so
again.
much. Yeah, give that a try. So we'll just not unplug the adapter.
Yep.
Okay, Edgar's here as well, sweetheart. Spoon's trying to help me make sure the webcam wants to be connected. And I'm not worried about that. Oh, your arm's right in there. Look at that cute freckle on my child's arm. I just saw it in the camera. Well, the webcam doesn't want to connect today. And I know that's because you all are meant to connect with one another. And I am meant to connect with you. I will not be active in our chat today. And darling loves, our subscriber candle just went out. So, through the magic of ASMR, I light this candle for my beautiful subscribers. It's dressed and blessed for you, where it shall remain all through the magic of Beltane. Oh, cuties, I'm going to bind this. I've got some pink salt here, and I'm going to take out some of this hot wax and put it on that pink salt in a very sexy binding spell for all of our acts of lovemaking today. We make that love for and with each other. How nice is that in our collective candle? They were just a little bit too juicy, so I have to save them. And I'll post over on my Instagram stories how I get on with this. I will add to the hot wax this baby's breath, which is also a very sexual enactment. I will put those in for the 3 phases of our life: our virgin state, our super active sexual state, and our afterglow state. So those are all in that hot wax inside the pink salt. And I'll show you how I utilize that. I created this as a poultice just now, and I'll show you how to use that. The word poultice is from my childhood. I'm sure my brother Peter will remember that, because our grandma Adams is, born, I think, before the turn of the century. And she used poultices as her medicine. She would put earthen magic mustard that she ground the seeds, and she would put them inside of a plaster with baking soda, and they would plaster the plant magic on their bodies when they weren't well, and the plants would weave their magic into the flesh and the bone and the lungs of their whole family. And that was in my dad's childhood. They would put things on their feet and wrap them up in socks. Oh, they didn't have any heat in their homes, so they would put a brick in the fireplace and let it cool just right. And my daddy was the baby of his family, and they would put a hot brick at the foot of his bed for his feet to cuddle. And he said by the end of the night, he somehow scooched that hot brick up to the middle of his body where he hugged it in a fetal position. And he just thought it was the best thing in the world. He had no idea that that's the definition of being poverty stricken. He thought that his mother loved him so much that she gave him a hot brick to cuddle. Isn't that beautiful? So my grandma Adams knows all those poultice recipes that she took to the grave with her. So I live to access those poultices through magic. I literally speak to her, and I ask her to divinely guide me as I create magic poultices that I give back to the earth and I wear on my body sometimes. Grandma Adams is a Taurus, EMPREXX, if there ever was one. Oh, dear hearts, wow, we are just popping with magic today. Take good care of each other in the chat, as I need to focus on you right there in a very different way. I hope you don't mind it being fuzzy. Luckily, I wear a nice lip poppin' color today so you can see me nicely. It's not as good a picture as my sweet webcam. Okay, darling loves, we will begin at the end today because I'm very called to flip the script and to make that love from the bottom to the top. So this is the magic of sort of, how do I say this and not get kicked off the Google fraternity of YouTube? Let's make slow love today. Let's start at the feet and work our way up. So we're going to begin with Pisces today, okay, cute hearts? And we'll be utilizing my EMPREXX spell for every single zodiac sign. Remember, this moves very fast. It's a lightning round of 2 cards that make an X. One is for what's wild and one is for what's free. What's wild is the first thing that comes to mind. Give yourself the freedom of your wild tongue. And I'm doing that for us today. And the next card is free. It's the gift in your hand, a grain that will feed many birds. So I will toggle this down, and you can see me authentically cut the deck into 3, darlings, and back into 1. There we go. And we shall begin. I did see, because I saw, Edgar, you were here, and you put some beautiful monarch butterflies here, and you may or may not know that we have been summoning our ancestors in very specific moments that their love-making made us. We are worshiping that moment. We're worshiping the explosion that created life, the climactic event that created life. And like the Coast Guard helicopter propellers are saying, womp, 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 and tempting me to be afraid. They're showing me that I can take that womp, 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 and I can listen to fire. I can listen to that inner fire of a deep burning log that's been burning for hours and hours and hours, and I can hear that in the womp, womp, womp. We also congratulated you for being on the Witch Wave podcast this week. It's fabulous. I had a wonderful time visiting with Pam Grossman at the Witches Confluence last year, and Bird and I got to have fun meeting them. I'll put a picture of Bird and Pam and I on my Instagram stories with Bird's consent. If you don't see it, it's because not everybody felt okay about being in it. We had a really gorgeous time at their presentation. Edgar, I listened to the first few minutes of the podcast. It's awesome. Your expansion is holographic, and we're about it. Oh, everyone, congratulate Edgar for carrying our magic and the magic of the love-making that made them into all of the works that they're creating right now. That holographic expansion blesses us and carries us with them. So thank you so much. Okay, Pisces, what's wild for you? Here we go. This is the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace, or the One of Pentacles, means this is the beginning for your body. It's just the beginning. And so how do we have success at the beginning? With intention. Because all of our projects, we know, have the success of the first 20% of our behavior. So really mean it today. What do we mean for our body? Make sweet love to that body today, Pisces, because that's the way that you're going to win, okay? And what's free for you now, Pisces? This is the reversed page of wands, the reversed page of wands. This is the grain that feeds many birds. If you've had a challenge being a student, heal that place now. Go to that place deep inside and change the language that shamed you in the past, and celebrate that little sweetheart that didn't know and innocently asked why. And tell them how smart and brilliant and fabulous they are for asking why. All right, Pisces, that's your EMPREXX spread for the moment. And now we're on to Aquarius. This is wild for you. This is the Two of Wands. It couldn't be any more wild than that. Well, it seems that often in this space, somebody is beckoned to explore their kinks because shyness has taken over. And explore inside of that space where shyness can really be admitted as shame. Were you shamed for your kink, sweet Aquarius? Heal that now and find a being to make love with. That vulnerable, tender, co-created act of lovemaking. Be creative, because when I say find a being, I sincerely mean that. Lovemaking happens in so many ways. It's not just an earthen enactment, although I have a feeling that's how this wants to work. Okay, sweetheart. And Aquarius, your free is the right tilted Eight of Cups. This is the gift that feeds many birds. It's a single grain that feeds many birds. I feel like now is the time to create your spell and your dream that will carry you for a witch's calendar of a year and a day. Cast your spells and create your dreams right now and set them to an aqueous solution. Like, let's do some Beltane Moon infusing of liquid today, and make that brew very intentionally about what you're dreaming of in a really big way for next Beltane. Let's look forward in this spell today. Okay, Aquarius, that was juicy. Capricorn, here we go. What's wild? This is the upright Page of Swords, the upright Page of Swords. So Cappy, the upright Page of Swords shows you sort of at the head of the class. I feel like this is your time right now to really share what you know with others about how to learn and how to be open and vulnerable and tender in how you're learning. And this is what's free for you. Was that two cards? That was just a hefty card. So this is the Three of Swords. You have two swords here, Cappy. And so what's free? This is the grain that feeds many birds. When I see the Three of Swords, I see that kind of interior argument, this mental argument going on. Let's separate the strands of those arguments and let's name them. 1, 2, and 3. What are the three wisdoms that are shining through to you right now that you think can help your small circle of your family? Okay, sweethearts. That's for you, Cappy. Now we move to Sag. Oh, and it's a fire holiday. Oh, sweethearts, I forgot to drink. I'm going back. Okay, so we had Pentacles. We had fire in our wands. Then we had more fire in our wands. We had the Eight of Cups. Yay. I'm sorry. I'm catching up. Oh, lovely. Okay, darling loves. Every time I drink this witch's brew in our gorgeous, glorious live stream every week, it's such a binding spell that brings me ever closer to you. Okay, so Saggy, here we go. I want to make sure we're right. What's wild for you, Saggy? X marks the spot. Wow. It's really your time, Sag. This is time for you to, if it's possible, release yourself of the outcome fully and completely. Release yourself from the outcome. This is time for you, even though we know that all there is change. It's time for you to be fully and completely about the wildness of this moment. Okay, wow. Send me a DM and let me know how that looks for you, Saggy. And now we pull what's free. What's that grain that feeds many birds, Sagittarius? This is the reverse 10 of Swords. What a relief that the challenges of this space that you have been occupying are released. And I want to alert you and track you to more medicine than only I can speak. I put on my Instagram stories yesterday, and I'll link this in two ways in the description of this video. I will link this Instagram account, and I will specifically link this post. This is from the fabulous Elle Hermit on Instagram. Oh, I can't tell you how their tarot genius nourishes me so. And I know that it's here for you, Sag, in how this reversed 10 of Swords wants to shine through. You suffer. You suffer in the way that you can, the word perform is coming up, perform for others. And so the trick is to not be performing for others, to be creating fully and completely in the wildness of your spell. And Elle Hermit gave a gorgeous EMPREXX reading last night. They practice in a way that I don't know if anyone else does. I was lucky enough to receive a reading from them at Open Eye Crystals, which I'll of course link in the description of this video, because Madison generously offered their space for the Golden Dome School's last Tarot-thon for Indigenous Earth Justice. And I was so lucky to be a volunteer reader, and I was able so wonderfully to receive a reading from Francisco Elle Hermit at that space. Last night they created the EMPREXX Tarot. Their tarot practice is different because it's a nighttime practice. How much do you need your brow to be bathed in kisses at night before you rest after a long day of magic, after a long day of being in this earth body? Francisco's practice is at night, and they come through and give readings most nights, if not all nights, and they're incredible. It's such an incredible public service. Honestly, they should have a national endowment for the arts, and I find them to be an earth treasure. So thank you so much, Francisco. Sagittarius, their reading, their EMPREXX spread reading for last night through me and Francisco is for you. Okay, sweetie. Wow, that was a lot. I just love Francisco's practice so much. They changed my life in January with the reading. It was completely predictive of everything we're going through right now. And it was intense and challenging and tackled all the biggest things that I've been going on in my life. And yet, no doubt about it, it was completely mired and marinated in pleasure. That's a miracle in my life. Their tarot hands are just emanating love. They have my favorite pandemic manicure of all of we witches. I released my nails in January, right after Tarot-thon, and before the pandemic got hot and heavy. And Francisco keeps natural length on their nails, and they're beautiful. They're mesmerizing to receive a reading from. So enjoy that almost every single night at El Hermit. Oh, I'm in love. Scorpio, are you ready, Freddie? Here's what's wild for you. This is the reversed sun card. Healing is needed. This is ordered healing. It's by the light of day. Do your daytime works. I know that it's really easy and lovely for you to do your nighttime healing work. You're being called to do this work very orderly. I believe that this is through therapist work. Like, put it in brackets. Tell yourself, okay, here's my appointment time. It's between 10:30 and 11:30 a.m. to look at this sun healing, this child sun healing that's aching to happen, and let yourself rest at night for the rest of the pandemic, okay, honeys? And here's what's free. This is what's in the palm of your hand, a grain that feeds many birds, Scorpio. Here we go, the reversed Lovers card. So you've got two major arcana, two of the arguably most major arcana. And I wrote a poem yesterday, and the main word that was buried as a treasure in the center of the poem was arcanum. Do you know what arcanum means? Fully and completely in the etymology of that word, it means secret. So your lover's food and nourishment is a sweet secret, and enjoy that sweet secret. You know, just because you heal your trauma doesn't mean you're going to lose all your edges and all your fun, Scorpio. So enjoy those sweet lover's secrets that you hold. And I'm inviting you to give yourself pleasure with all the radical acts of lovemaking that you've experienced in your animal body as your sweet secrets just languish and lounge and bathe in all those secret lovemakings that you've had throughout your life, and enjoy all those. They're yours, and they're real, and they're forever. Okay, Libra, here we go. This is what's wild for you, Libra. This is the straight up Seven of Pentacles. Oh, what a fucking relief. Any Libras out there mopping their brow going, oh, it's coming, I love it. Here we are, sort of, I don't know, is this the 7th week of shelter in place? How is that 7 showing up besides just being a very lucky number? We're lucky for all of our magic that we're experiencing right now, Libra. And this is for Libra, sun, moon, rising, wherever you need to receive this in your chart. You have the agency to choose the medicine that you know is right for you, just like the poultice from my delicious, expansive, full Taurian EMPREXX Grandma Adams poultices that I'm accessing by magic. You can choose where this Libra placement belongs in your chart, because this is a very lucky time for you. Everything you're doing is working. Keep doing it. Keep going. You got this. That's what's wild. And here's what's free, Libra. Okay, this is the 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands straight up for you, sweet Libra. So, tongues of fire. Keep going. Tongues of fire. Always knowing. Tongues of fire. Out and wagging and showing. Let this freak flag fly. Let your wild tongue speak. You can do that with your little telephone right here with that audio business. Look, you can say whatever you want when you push that little red button. Utilize your wild tongue to show yourself who you are. Listen back and smile. Fall more in love with your voice and your incantations and your magic. Okay, cuties, here's Virgo. Virgo, you have the Page of Cups. Everybody drink. Lovely. I'm going to pour myself some more. There we go. Okay, so this is Virgo's Page of Cups. It's left tilted slightly, but it wants to go upright. Oh, and don't you just love that, Virgo, when you have a struggle, you have a toothsome struggle to sink your body, your nails into physical form? Don't you love when your yearning and your works of wildness have a physical quality, a bite down quality? I just feel like every texture that you love needs to be in front of you right now. So change your sheets and pleasure yourself. Take a really big ritual aqueous bath. Bathe in all the knowledge that you have for the right direction for your wildness to weave forward. You need to bring more wildness to your practice in general, just period. Okay, cuties. And so Virgo, and I love that turned upright while I was reading it. Lovely. And Virgo, this is what you have in the palm of your hands, a grain that feeds many birds. This is the reversed Nine of Wands. The reversed Nine of Wands. Your magic has just a very intensely important work for generations to come. Virgo, do the works for 9 generations from now. I know that I just called upon you to create earthen magic in your wildness of your body, your feasts, and also do this for 9 generations from now. So in order to access the spaciness that you're called to and the passions of the birds that you're feeding with a single grain, think about this 9 generations from now, okay, honeys? There we go. Love it. Leo, this is you, honey. You have the right tilted 6 of Pent, right tilted 6 of Pent. Literally every single thing you're doing to survive is what will make you thrive, as dear Edgar says. This right tilted 6 of Pentacles for you, Leo, is just such an affirmation and a reminder for you to wildly affirm. Wildly affirm. I know that it's very easy for you to talk about what you're good at. This is time for you to wildly talk about what others are good at through radical acts of affirmations. Okay, sweethearts, and this is what's free for you, Leo. Oh my goodness, you're going to be so damn happy. This is the 5 of Wands. Are you ever just fearless in your fights? Make sure that all of your fights right now are for the greater good, and every Leo I know is just the most passionate, beautiful warrior X that creates magic in the world with their battle cries. And so louder. Let's get a little bit louder. Oh, love that. You're very powerful right now, Leo, and happy moon to you, sweeties. Cancer babies, everybody drink. This is the reversed King of Wands. The reversed King of, I'm sorry, I said Wands, I meant to say Cups. At least I caught myself this time. Okay, darlings. Cancer, reversed King of Wands. And this is for what is wild. I don't know, I like this. Again, not really sure what this platform can support, but remember, we make love from the bottom to the top. So Cancer, you really need to find yourself acts of love making that pleasure you at that low end, that really gets that nectar flowing. It's beyond important. It's the top priority. And actually, like I say, cancel all plans for the rest of Beltane. It's all about you pleasuring yourself. And only you know how that goes. And I'm not even sure because, you've been disconnected from what gives you physical nectar-laden pleasure. So now it's time for you to go back and access what gives you that pleasure. It's so important, Cancer. Cancel all plans. It's all about your flowing nectar today. Go low, work your way up, okay? And here's what's free for you, sweethearts. This is the right tilted Three of Pentacles, right tilted Three of Pentacles. Wow, you do this for the story of humanity. You do this for the story of our place in space. You do this for the past. You do this for now, and you do this for everything that's ever growing through us for the future. I got to track back to your wild card. You need to cancel all plans and get busy living. All right. So, Gemini, here we go, sweeties. This is the reversed Five of Swords. There's been a mental conflict in your wildness, and it's laid to rest right now. You have a much clearer picture for how to go right now. And the way that you found the way to go right now is the way to go right now, if that makes sense. And so I'm going to repeat that. You made it through some mental conflict with a methodology. Track back through acts of air, like writing it down, and remember those breadcrumbs of the methodology that brought you to the place where you're out of that mental conflict right now, and do that more. And if you're really into it, teach others how to do it. Oh, thank you, Gemini. Love you so. Okay, sweethearts, and this is your next card, also a sword. So you are in your air element right now. And I'm a Gemini moon, so I'm sharing this deeply with you. This is the Ace or One of Swords. And this is the ultimate Beltane card in concert with the EMPREXX card themselves. This gorgeous swelling belly, this heaving bosom is telling you that you're just at the beginning of your air-laden gifts, and to take the pleasurable time to grow them with your celebrations, because this baby's just getting started. It's time for you to really enjoy the place you are in space right now, okay? Enjoy this time right now. Because a lot of what you need to do is lounge around in it. Yes, goddess. Lounge around in the pleasure of your successes. And again, hold all calls. You've got some pleasurable enactments to enjoy. Oh, what fun. Taurus, honeys, your season is bringing me so much life, nourishment, feast after feast with Taurus. Does that mean it's been all fun and games? No, actually, we had a life and death emergency just one exact week ago and made it through with all living. It's a stunning miracle. And I believe that the Taurus energy saved life where it was threatened, right here in my home. Because plants and animals nourished our bodies and alerted us that something wasn't right, and exited bodies in a beautiful way. So yeah, it's not a huge blast every second with you, Taurus, but it is at the same time. I needed to be in my body this season, so I love and thank you, Taurus. I have to hold space for beautiful Ashlyn, who is a 13th portal initiate with High Priestess Lacey and Lunanate Jillian and I. They bless our life constantly. They are an immigration attorney student right now in law school. I'm so proud of them. They are a covenant in this space, and they blessed me so, so deeply with our hydromancy spell that we cast with Edgar. Ashlyn, happy Taurus season and happy birthday, honey. I don't remember the exact day, but who fucking cares? Claim the whole month. All right, so Taurus, honeys, here's what's wild for you right now. The reversed Nine of Pentacles. The reversed Nine of Pentacles. So you are being called to change. How do you feel about that? You're being called to really, really inform the sweet earth with your wisdom. How do you feel about that? Keep it wild. And here's what's free. Here's the grain that feeds many birds. Here's the gift. The gift is the 8 of Swords to the right. So, yeah. You're being called to change in your wildness. And in the argument, here and now, is where that change is shining through. There's a change happening for you right now. And it comes through in your words. What needs to change is how you express yourself in your intimacy, how you express yourself in your love affair. That's what needs to change. Love you. It only makes it better, okay? So changing only makes it better. It's going to change anyways. What's it going to change? If you don't change the words that come out in these arguments, then the big change could be that relationship is transformed and damaged. So the change is a beautiful thing. You aren't losing the fight because you change how you behave and what you say. You're winning in the love affair. And I'll tell you, in my pond, the most spectacular yellow bird just landed. And I've got these warblers that like to migrate up and down the coast of California from cold Canada to Mexico. And so they're on their way back up to Canada right now. And they stopped by my little watering hole in the back, and there they are right now. All the mama is here. They travel as a couple, and the daddy has a black bandito mask. It's gorgeous, and the mama hides in light. And I feel like this is all for you, Taurus. She hides in the brightest light because you can't see the yellow of her body in the bright lights. And then the daddy, the bandito masked, gorgeous daddy, shows himself, and he acts out, and he has a big wild song to protect her. I find that very sexy. Oh, okay, cuties, here we go, Aries. You are the Fool. Wild Fool. Aries, you're the wild fool. Take that and expand it. Be seen as the wild fool. And now we've got the right tilted King of Wands. The King of Wands shows that your passion project is piercing through veils and very, very much succeeding in the world. Keep going. Actually, that thing that you thought was your passion project is your actual career. So it's about sort of letting go of the comfort of your quote unquote real job. I love you. Wow, honeys. So everybody got the EMPREXX card. The EMPREXX is the X's over our eyes of being intoxicated by magic. It's the X's over our breasts that allure as they shield the nipples. It's the alignment of our senses, of our ears and eyes and hands. It's the alignment of our magic as it bursts forward in climactic visions. How very, very special it is to have this double X sex Beltane holiday together through the EMPREXX's body. And now I will share with you my poem. I give you EMPREXX, bones knit to contain this feral tongue. My teeth edges touch and float in their cave. My mouth, soft, open, arcanum. EMPREXX, wild 8 of Swords. Free the fool. Spiked droplets live. blood magic floats within etheric present space. Yet our love, it carves, it brands my body, now flourished, transformed by magic again. Our magic, this magic, it leaves a mark, and it's meant to. Who I am is all of me. It's my mountain of trauma, and our magic carves and brands me and sends me a light with flourishes. Do you know flourishes? They're little sweet spirals and tendrils that frame and feature and highlight in art. And my body is marked with our love. It's marked in flourishes with our love. That brings us to our shared Beltane incantation, and completely by magic, because this subscriber candle wanted to go out, and it's very dim again, so we will create more poultice together. I know that my ancestors, my Grandma Adams is present. She's present, and I live for her body. I live through her body, and I live in her body. And these babies' breath tell that story, the full, round EMPREXX, Grandma Adams, and her poultices inform this coven of how to exist together. There's pink salt. There's our subscriber candle wax, our coven's candle wax, and these fresh baby's breath flowers, which you mustn't eat. They're toxic. The milk of them are toxic. Just like the white oleanders, milk is toxic. The baby's breath milk is toxic. The flowers are not, but let's not mess with consuming them. Let's create these fabulous acts of magic and poultice right now. So, my darlings, the incantation that we share together, I am going to place on the screen, maybe. I don't know if I can do that. I'll just need to put this in the description of the video. And there will be a video link in it to the Commons Web, Season 1 and Season 2. Season 2 was ended with a fabulous, incredible finale, an incantation that I humbly asked for consent and permission to share with our worldwide coven today, because it's posted on their Instagram stories. And Precious Edgar is part of Season 2. They created an amazing art spell for the Commons Web, which is a morning talk show for witches by witches. Holding this poultice in my hand, I share with you the Commons incantation. No change is too small. Our individual experiences bring value to the collective. We're resourceful beyond measure. We relate to each other with kindness and compassion. My loves, happy Beltane. Please, darling loves, remember that I am completely with you, body and soul, and sending you all my love and magic. Magic is your birthright, honeys. Everything's a spell, and this is my spell that is interlocked with your spell, becoming our spell. You stick around and I'll walk you out by writing you a message, okay? I love you very, very much, honeys. ASMR sips, everybody. Oh, Grandma Adams' poultice smells so good. Peter, I hope you're still with us, sweetheart. Oh, so magic that you're here, sweetie.